haven't just bought 32 pounds of weight loss. What I've actually invested in here is the knowledge of how to manage my weight now in a sustainable way going forward. Busy. My work life was particularly busy, and 3 young kids at home. Usual stuff that comes with that. You know, weekends are busy with the family, so not a lot of time for Thomas, and never really thought about it too much. And over the last few years, the weight just snuck up on me. And before I knew it, I wasn't feeling particularly happy about my weight and how that was making me feel. And eventually I hopped on the scales, and I was 16 stone, which was the heaviest weight that I've been ever. Well, I was nervous, and I was nervous for a few reasons, because one was I knew I was in a situation where I had to improve my health and fitness. So I was nervous about kind of that journey for whatever reason. And I was nervous about our relationship, about would we get on, would we not get on. There was a very, very small part of me thinking, well, you know, I could give this fella my money and he could run a mile. So there was all of that kind of going on in the head, but very pleasantly surprised. I was comfortable enough to press the button at the end of it all. Well, ultimately, my primary goal was to lose weight. That was the primary goal. And the secondary goal was I wanted to find something that was actually going to be sustainable for me, you know, because this is a finite program. I know there's various levels to it, but, you know, there's a start and there's a finish. And it was the education. I needed to be educated about what to do when Adam exits stage left at some point. And the third was to actually, to feel better at the end of the process. So, and it's fair to say, I achieved all 3 goals from the program. Absolutely brilliant. Actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. I just didn't know what to expect. I thought, you know, this is going to be painful. I don't know what this guy is going to ask me to do. I'm after paying the money, so I'm in. And I was just pleasantly surprised. What has surprised me the most is, at some level, even though I was very focused, I did not feel I had put in a huge effort. Even though I know that sounds contradictory, right? Even though I had stayed very focused on trying to achieve what I wanted to achieve, I didn't feel that I was doing something that was blatantly out of something that was sustainable. I just felt all the asks fitted into my life and my routine. And yeah, that was definitely the thing that has surprised me the most. It was just how this routine fitted my life. Very, 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 very positive experience, Adam, I have to say. From a weight loss perspective, I had lost 32 pounds, which is 2 stone and 4 pounds. That's a big number in a short amount of time. But I just feel it was so sustainable. I don't feel I've been through any boot camp or anything like that. Does that make sense? From a fitness perspective, I think last week I walked over 120,000 steps. Now, probably doesn't sound a lot to some people, but I was probably doing, 35, 40 at best, and my excuse was my busy life. The 2-hour drive up to work, the 2-hour drive back, the time sitting at the desk, the family and how busy the family is. I don't have time for this, so from a fitness perspective now, I'm walking a lot more, as I say, over 120,000 steps last week. Yeah, I definitely the body confidence has gone up. Clearly, when you lose over 2 stone in body weight, you start to feel better. Your clothes start to fit, or some of your clothes start to fit again because the other ones now are too big. And actually, one of the things that I've noticed, a secondary effect of me joining the program, is that my kids have started to take up some of the habits, coming out for walks with me, less takeaways. So just, the effects have kind of rippled through the family, not just myself. And one of the things that I've taken out of the program is that mindfulness, which I wasn't expecting. I would imagine most of these fitness programs that people do are about the physical aspect of it, obviously the calories and the exercise, but the mindfulness element of it, and being cognizant of how you're feeling before you start the program and after the program and during the program. That focus was impressive. I'm going to say absolutely yes. The habits are sticking already. Those organisational habits are important. I love the way, and I think that's why it works. You're not asking me to do something that I don't enjoy, because if I don't enjoy it, or if I'm not bought into it, well then it's not going to be sustainable. Yet there's scope there to kind of do things that you enjoy, and that for me that was actually a surprising but a very beneficial thing of the program, because I actually feel it's sustainable, because I'm not eating something or doing something and that is not going to work for me in the long term. And what I'd say to anybody is don't be afraid to invest in yourself, because you will reap the rewards. You know what? And this is where I ended up, Adam. And I ended up in a situation where, because I have tried to lose weight over the years, and I have done it successfully, intermittently over the years, but it's always come back on, because I did it probably through extremes, whether that be extreme exercise or whether that be extreme kind of calorie watching, if that makes sense. And I ended up at the point where I actually just didn't know where to start. And I think I'd said this to you. I knew I'd reached a point that I wanted to start and I needed to start, but I didn't actually know where to start. And I needed somebody to give me that leg up, somebody, that professional advice, somebody who I knew what they were talking about. So what I'd say to anybody is, if you're at that point where you know you need to do something and you know you want to do something, but you're just not sure how to go about it, well then absolutely just press the button. And I would say just invest in yourself.